What if trade wars are good? What if they're actually easy to win? What if China has been abusing the US and we should be doing something about it? Now, even though economists love bashing Trump, even more than Trump loves bashing the press, NFL players, Democrats, porn stars lawyers, what if he's actually right? Well, that's what we're gonna talk about in today's episode of Real Vision's The One Thing. What's happening, investors? AK here. Now to start, I want to show you a quick clip from a Real Vision interview between Kyle Bass, a hedge fund manager, and Graham Allison, an expert from Harvard. In this clip, Allison talks about how way before Trump, Xi Jinping, China's leader, he came into office saying that he was going to make China great again. He even had the Chinese version of the MAGA hat and everything. It was the same color though, red for communism.
What is China's grand strategy? What is it?
I think China's grand strategy, as Xi Jinping said explicitly when he became president, is to make China great again. This means restoring China to its natural place at the top of every pecking order, where it was until this century of humiliation when the Westerners showed up with their technology.
Is China our friend?
I was in China in April for a session called China Friend, Rival, or Adversary. I said the answer is yes.
So there's two guys gunning for the top spot in the world, but in the end, there can be only one. Now we all know China is on track to become the world's largest economy over the US. But is their economy even stable? Well, it depends. Do you think Gary Busey is stable? If so, then yeah, I would tell you that China's economy is more stable than those places that hold horses. No, but really, if you've been watching me on YouTube, then you know how China is facing major issues because they haven't shifted to a consumer-based economy like the US. They're completely dependent on exports and they're leveraged out of their mind with all their debt spending. They've basically built themselves a giant house of cards, so you know it's about to come crashing down harder than Kevin Spacey's career. The US, on the other hand, has a self-sustaining economy. We've got everything we need in-house. We've got manufacturing, natural resources, consumers, investors, absolutely everything. We got it. We're just like Sears. Well, you know, Sears from back in the day. And this means that we're in a great position against China when it comes down to a trade war. But some people are still scared that US consumers will get killed by the higher prices passed down to them through the tariffs. So what does the evidence show? Well, surveys show that American consumers are actually the most confident in the US economy in 18 years. And they're close to an all-time high in that confidence. The Consumer Confidence Index climbed to 138.4 in September. And that's the highest level since September 2000, which was near the end of the internet boom. And you remember how happy everyone was back then, waiting forever for their dial-up connection, just so they could hear that little yellow guy tell them, "You've got mail." Well, we're now close to the record peak of 144.7 set in May of that same year. So tariffs aren't hurting American consumers, and instead, they're doing exactly what Trump wanted them to. Since he announced them back in March, the Shanghai index is down over 20%, but the NASDAQ is up nearly 10%. We are winning huge. Just look at Tencent, the poster child of the Chinese tech boom. It's down over 30% in 2018, losing 200 billion of its market cap. 200 billion again. Seems to be a recurring number in these trade wars. But you know what's messed up about these Chinese tech companies? They're constantly stealing our intellectual property. Trump is absolutely right about that. A 2017 report by the US Trade Representative showed that Chinese theft of American IP costs us between $225 and $600 billion a year. And Trump only put $250 billion worth of tariffs on China. Honestly, he should maybe even do more. Make it a real Trump-style tit-for-tit retaliation. But the thing we gotta be careful about is this trade war leading to an actual war. Now, I'm not saying it will, but it's happened before. Back in the early 1900s, when protectionist policies got popular around the globe, just like they're doing now, Germany figured the best way to fix it was with bullets. And that's how we got World War I. We obviously do not want that happening again. All in all, the important thing to understand here is that there are winners and losers in trade wars. And even though the media says that everyone loses, so far has been pretty one-sided. Kinda reminds me of every time we play basketball against China in the Olympics, right? Now, if you really want to learn what all this means between the US and China, then make sure you sign up for a free trial to Real Vision. That way you could watch the two-part China series with hedge fund legend Kyle Bass. I'll see you guys next week.